Thanks for staying with us. Now, the protests have ended, and a bipartisan process to reconstitute the IEBC is in the offing. But we're asking you, is there a formula to a long-term solution to election management in this country? And that's why I still have here with me, on my far left, Jack Tumwa, a former ECK Commissioner, and Ogla Karani, a member of a former IEBC selection panel. Thank you so much for staying with us.
Thank you.
And we know you've been sending us your feedback via the SMS line 22422, hashtag Monday Report. I just want to read two messages that have come in this evening from viewers who've been watching us. We can put the first one up, and remember, you can keep sending them in. Onyango Olang, you say the formula is honesty, ethics, and integrity. Dishonest and unscrupulous individuals will always have a way around laws, and Kenya is full of them. Okay, that's one. Let's see another one. For the longest time, this is from Babu Michael. For the longest time, trust has been lacking when it comes to electoral processes in this country. Installing this trust will solve all these issues experienced after every general election. These are the real issues. And one person here who says via the, we'll read another tweet a little bit on. Let me read an SMS via the SMS line 22422. I'm reading it on my iPad. Somebody says here, a return to the parliamentary system. There'll be no fighting for the presidency. You'll just get the party with more MPs. It's going to be simple and clean. John Maritime from Kericho. Okay, and I'll read a few more later on and get reactions from my guests. Bwana Tumwa, let me come back to you first. Eventually, we will have a new chair of the next IEBC, or the next iteration of IEBC. Where would you start in a commission where everyone will be a newcomer and you'll have increased pressure from the political class if what we've seen recently is anything to go by?
It is sad. Long before we left the commissioner, we recommended that appointment of commissioners should be staggered so that you can have the first lot coming in for 2 years. They go over, then the others come in, and like that, so that that memory of the commission is not lost. You know, Chepkat had a lot of problems because he came in very late. And by that time he came in, the secretariat had settled. And Chepkat had to rely very heavily on the position of the secretariat. Kriegler had also made a mistake because he created two centers of power in the commission. So it was very difficult for these people to learn effectively. One trying to express this power, another one trying to
help me further understand the two centers of power, the commission and the secretariat.
Yes.
What do you think was the thinking around it and the challenges that we've now seen?
The original thinking was that the commission has to be part-time. And in that thinking, they didn't want the commission to be there full-time. So that thinking said the secretariat, like most other organizations, the commissioners come in just for some little time for policy purposes. They pass policy, they hand them over to the secretariat to implement. But you know, this is a political baby. The commission is all politics. The commissioners have to be there and continue relating to political parties, to other government agencies in order to do their work effectively. But the moment you lack somewhere, it becomes a problem.
Ogla, and the same question to you. We know there's a selection panel right now currently doing its job that's been gazetted. Of course, there's now a lot of questions out there about what happens to that selection panel with what was announced yesterday by both our leaders, President William Ruto and, of course, Raila Odinga, the Azimio leader. But eventually, whatever will happen, if you got another chance in a selection panel, with what you know now, what would you be looking for?
I think, first of all, the selection panel that is there will do their job, even with the changes that were made yesterday, because the tools that we had to save lives was more important, and I'm sure everybody is happy with that. So I know there'll be a way in which they will merge whatever will be proposed, and the country will move forward. I don't want to say if I got a chance now to be in a selection panel. What I would want to say is that we are progressing Kenyans. And we shouldn't look at the IEBC issues as a problem of only the Commission. I remember discussing in our selection panel, we really took a lot of time discussing these two arms of power, the Secretariat and the Commission. And we even wondered whether it was necessary to have a commission that is full-time. But like he said, a political process where you are supposed to be directly answerable, it would be good that you are hands-on, that you are, daily in the office. But I think there must be a discourse that should come after this, where maybe the Secretariat should be left to be giving support system to the Commission so that the Commission will take its responsibility. However, as it is now, we have the good thing about this commission that will come in. They'll have some years. Chebukati entered with his team, and he had a very few months before he conducted the first elections. Yeah, 2017. So, yeah, and actually, yes, they actually really were disadvantaged. The commission that will come in now will have some time to prepare for the elections and to interact. If I were to advise a selection panel that will come in now, I would tell them to go more than their academic qualifications, to look for people that actually understand the political process in Kenya, to look for people that have integrity. I know that we are living in a country.
How do you determine that? Is it a series of questions? Is it some tests? Because I'm sure the selection panel is watching our program.
You can determine people that have integrity and that have the capacity, the personal ability to withstand the pressure and to defend their values. Because it's not difficult to decide. It's not difficult. I may not be able to tell you follow A, B, and C, because if we go that way again, we will not be able, we'll be doing what we did. And I'm not saying that commission failed. They did their part. But it is not difficult to discern an honest person. It's also not difficult to discern a person who has the confidence to defend their position. Value-based people can be touched. They can be felt. Emotional intelligence is an intelligence, what we call sometimes emotional questions, is something that may not be written down, but can be touched. Because I always ask myself, let me just say this very simple example. What is very difficult at the time of announcing the presidential election, from the commission having a very robust discussion with the competitors and even preparing the loser and the winner to have some sort of acceptance before announcing? Why are we making this election very acrimonious so that we only announce a winner without caring the feelings of the loser? There's a way in which even a weak child is supported, or a loser is supported, so that they don't feel really bad. They realize, and they are given, they are shown why they have lost, and what is it that has made them not become the #1 child or the A child? Because we must save Kenya. And when these people go to elections, they know that one will win, one will lose. And I still insist that apart from getting people that have integrity, we also need people that have character. We have different personalities in this world. There are personalities that will run away in tough situations, not because they are weak, but that is their personality. There are personalities that will face a situation head-on and stand and manage, and they have learned skills, developed skills over time that they can be able to withstand pressure and not run away. There are personalities that love to look helpless. You cannot put such people in IEBC. There are others who do not even have self-confidence that they can defend their position. So there's a raft of things that I really pray that this current selection panel will take time to look at outside the academic qualifications.
Outside the academic qualifications.
And taking it up from there.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to look at the commission that I joined in 1997. I had retired from the civil service, but I was the youngest. I'm not in any way belittling the young people who came to that place. But we had people like Cherono, very old teacher, people like Kinyamu, people like Jelgate. These are all experienced persons who have touched base with the political parties all through. And I think it helped. One, they continued their contact with these groups, but two, they helped to understand the importance of we working as a team. they were not looking for anything else other than having the country at heart. They were looking forward to providing service, to doing what they were expected to do as commissioners. And it became very easy for us to build a team and deliver the election that we did in 2002, because we were one. Team approach, team spirit in a commission is very important. Another thing, we tend to assume all the time that commissioners by themselves can deliver elections. I think that is faulty. Commissioners are referees, and a referee can be as good as the players and the spectators. The commission cannot operate in isolation. It has to work with various government agencies. It has to work with political parties. It has to work with the civil society, the media. All these people have to come up. So the commission has to get the cooperation of all these people in order to deliver the election that will be acceptable. But then the problem comes in when a commission is appointed and one group decides that it has not been appointed in the correct manner. Once you have no respect in a commission, or once one group decides not to respect the commission, the credibility of the commission goes down. And a very clear example really is in the 2007, very unfortunate as it were. Having been appointed using the IPPG formula, we did very well up to 2002. Coming to 2005 referendum, the then INAC government ignored the IPPG understanding. It had been used as a gentleman's agreement. It was not enacted. So the INAC group convinced President Kibaki that appointment of the commissioners is a matter for the president to do that. And he did that, so that the other party looked at it as if these were commissioners for the NAC government. So coming up to 2007, one of the reasons that put us into problems was that the commission had been discredited even before the election started. So we have to bring on all these groups to work together in order to have an effective, acceptable, credible elections. ECK alone, IEBC alone cannot do it.
And I think I don't know if it was you or Ogla who mentioned how much time you took thinking through the role of the Secretariat versus the Commission. Did you also, I believe it's you, did you also then sit down and talk about a clear dissection or boundaries between the role of the chairperson, the roles of commissioners, the role of the CEO, the role of other staff, other third parties as well? Was that ever a concern? Because it really dominated the Supreme Court petition of last year and decision. We
did, but our discussion only ended at the discussion table. We did not have the powers to implement whatever we discussed and whatever we thought was right. So we discussed, yes, but like I said, most of these things are laid down. They've already been put in place, so there was very little that we could have done. However, I still think that even with the complications that we are facing at the management of IEBC, as my brother here has shared, with a people management, with people management skills, a good chair or a good commission can be able to harness all the resources within the commission. You see, leadership is about leading people. See what happened today. It was yesterday. I don't know the time because sincerely I was in a prayer session. So I don't know what time did Honorable Raila announce the cancellation of demonstration today. I don't think it was
6:37 p.m.
But from 6:30 that time, there must have been people who had prepared and they were ready for the demonstration. But when a leader has said demonstrations are over, they were over. Leadership is about finding the right leader who can be able to harness the resources that the people have and lead the people, irrespective of the circumstances. It is still possible to lead IEBC and to work in this situation with the law as it is, because we don't have time to go and change those laws now. We don't have time, but we can make it. But I love something that he said, which is what I said earlier on. He mentioned some commissioners that they worked with who had relationships with politicians. You see, you must be having a teacher who you love so much. But if you are sick, you will not want that teacher to go to theater to operate on you. So we are not going, one of the prayers I pray that this selection panel will consider is not to pick a teacher to go and do surgery because the teacher is competent. Let us get people who have contact and relationships with politicians, who even understand these people. You know, there are people in this world who really look at politicians and think that they are very bad people in the world, and not all of them are bad. I mean, politics may be bad, but there are some politicians who have very good leadership, and it is what is determining the society.
Right.
So we cannot ostracize this department, this career of politics, and we still need them. Look at what they did last week when they decided to fight in this nation. We need people that will support these politicians and will prepare for the elections with them, and will also support the citizenry. One of the things that concerns me in this nation is that the citizens love to complain a lot, and I suppose it is the same rule in the world. The spectators of the football game, though I don't watch football, I would rather watch prayer, they have a lot of things to say, and I don't watch prayer, I want to participate, but they would like to, the spectators will say a lot of things from outside. Kenyans themselves also don't help in the political process. In political management, I pray that we'll get a commission this time that will also put responsibility upon the citizens of Kenya to also know what they need to do in electing their leaders.
Okay.
What they need to contribute. So a people-oriented leaders that have relationship with politicians, and I'm not saying members from political parties, but people that respect politicians and know that they are also human beings, will give us a better election management than to just get professionals.
I like the way you've put it. We've spent quite some time talking about what they'd like to see in the next phase of the selection panel, in the next commission as well. But when we come back after this short break, I want to talk a little bit about the behavior of the political class. Political players always baying for the blood of the electoral management body. If some have said, even if you put angels, that may not make a difference. Jack, that's what he believes. We'll come back and talk about that, even as we read your feedback via the SMS line 22422, #Monday Report. We'll be right back after this short break.